Let's get started. And today's session is all about building passive income for our business, our accounting firms. And what we're going to cover in this session is we're going to cover why recurring revenue is powerful. We're going to look at how you can monetize your knowledge in some interesting ways. We're going to look particularly at one platform that you could use. There are others, but I'm going to focus on one in particular. It's called Skool with a K, not CH. And what I will also do is do a quick demo of how, if you go down that particular route to build recurring revenue, a quick step-by-step of how you would set it up, how you can add value to your clients, to your members, how to keep them engaged, and how to grow a community, how to scale, how to make money, essentially. So we've got a lot to cover in this session, and let's start off, though, with just a bit of background. And I don't know, one of my good friends in my AI Academy, Randall, just literally this morning sent me a link to something really interesting called Head, the world's first AI marketer. And I checked this out and I was fascinating. It made me suddenly realize, wow, marketers as a profession are soon going to be replaced. And I was also watching a session last night. I follow Peter Diamandis, and they were talking about the number of jobs that are going to disappear. And of course, accountants and bookkeepers are right near the top of the list. I've been saying this for 18 months, that AI is going so fast now that a lot of the compliance work like bookkeeping, data entry, filling in tax returns, that will disappear because the AI is advancing so quick, it's rules-based. I've seen, for example, just recently on some Facebook groups of accountants and bookkeepers, there's been a few threads around people not happy with Intuit's QBO, with Intuit, of saying they're going to be replacing us. Well, yes, they absolutely will be. They have no loyalty to accountants and bookkeepers. They are a software company. And so they are building AI into QBO. And we know that the other software firms, the fintech companies, are doing exactly the same. I think that Sage just recently launched their Copilot, which, yes, that's to help accountants using Sage, but there's no doubt they are very much into AI as well. And so at some point, I think this will be much sooner than we realize. You will find in the profession that things like reconciling bank accounts, doing bookkeeping, data entry, it's going to disappear. And certainly by 2030, I think long before that. These tools are just getting so advanced right now. So that all means, what does that mean for us in the profession? Should we be scared? Should we be worried? Yes, possibly. But I also see this as being a world of huge opportunities for those people that want to grasp them and live in this new AI world. Yes, there will be many people in the profession that get left behind. And that happens that'll happen with every industry. There's opportunities, but some people won't grasp them. So, yes, AI is coming. It's going to be replacing our jobs. And so what we have to do is we have to adapt. We have to change. We have to look at the opportunities of how we can protect ourselves. And one of the things we have to do is we have to continually think about how we're going to create value for our customers, how we're going to create value for business owners. And I see there being two ways of doing that, essentially. One of those is that we could take each individual client that we have and deliver more value. And as my friend Ron Baker talks about, what we should be doing is moving up the value curve. That means that what we should be doing is moving away from data entry and bookkeeping and moving towards advisory work, advanced tax planning, and so on. And that's not a new message. We've been talking about that for decades now. So we certainly should be looking at creating value for our clients by moving up the value curve. But the other way that we can do things, if we want to generate more revenue and generate more value for people, is we can also create the same amount of value, but for more people, by scaling. And that's what we're going to particularly focus on in today's session. And so how do we scale? Because the problem is, we're in a business where even if you value pricing, we work one-to-one with clients, traditionally, where you spend an hour. So our limit is always the number of hours that we've got, and really we scale normally by hiring people. But I know from a recent session in Portugal with some of my best Value Pricing Academy members is they all said their number one challenge in business was people-related issues. So sometimes that's not the best thing to do. It was Stephen Bartlett, the Diary of a CEO, and he was talking about how that some of the major companies now have issued memos to their team to say, we're not hiring more people now. If you feel we need more people, we are going to be looking for AI to do the work, not people. That's interesting. This world is changing fast. So how do we scale other than with people? How can we scale? And one of the things I've talked about for years is that we could build a business club rather than working one-to-one with clients, which is not scalable unless we hire people. Then what we can do instead is run a business club. We could work one to many. And I've talked over the years about different models of doing that. I ran a business club in my accounting firm many years ago, which I started in, I think it was the year 2000. And that's essentially what we're going to talk about today, but also because another thing that's been talked about a lot over the last couple of years now is that as the world moves more digital, as the world moves into AI, people are increasingly wanting connection with other humans, and they're wanting a more of a sense of community. People want a sense of community, a sense of belonging. And so what we should be thinking about if we want to take our firms to another level is how can we create more of a community? Rather than just working with clients one-to-one doing compliance work, how do we create this sense of community? So it's a different way of thinking, it's a different business model, but it's one that becomes scalable. And there's now technology, platforms and things that make it much easier than ever before to do this. I've been running this type of business model now for, let me think, 22 years. So back in 2003, I joined Steve Pipe. I ran a community of accounting firms in the UK called AVN, and we were helping accounting firms become more profitable. And then in 2014, I started the Value Pricing Academy, which is a community of forward-thinking, amazing accounting firms where we get together, we help each other. And so I've been doing communities for a while now, and what I found is that the technology today is so much better than it ever was before. And so what I want to talk about as part of this opportunity is the tech that you could use. There are lots of different platforms that we could use to create this sense of community. You could even do it through social media. You could have a Facebook group, and I know there's some amazing accountants building huge Facebook groups. And that's great in as much as it's free, but the problem with Facebook groups is we're at the mercy of Mark Zuckerberg's algorithms, and we find that you post something in your Facebook group, only a very tiny proportion of people in the group will see it. It's very hard to get engagement in Facebook groups. And so, yes, they have a place, but much better to be in control of your own community. So I've been researching for a while now different communities. There are many out there, and I decided there's one that I liked in particular because A, it was one of the least expensive, but it was also one of the best ones, the easiest to use from both sides of the fence, from the person who's a customer in the community and the person who creates the community, and that's Skool. And so let's talk about some opportunities, because I've set up a Skool community. I know some people here know that. I'll show you mine. We started it just 2 months ago. But you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, but I'm a bookkeeper, I'm an accountant, I'm an enrolled agent. How could I possibly create a business club, a community on a platform like Skool? Well, let me share with you just some people that have done exactly this. And I don't know these people, I just went and searched around Skool to look for people who are linked to or in the accounting profession and what they're building. So this particular person has built a community for teaching people how they can save taxes through bookkeeping. He has 17 members. Perhaps he hasn't been doing it for long. He's charging $4.99 a year. That's an extra income of $8,483 if you do the math. Here's another one. Here's somebody who teaches business owners how to use QuickBooks. This person's built up a community of 75 people so far, and their price tag is $395. So they're making $29,000 in recurring revenue, because this is a membership, a subscription. That's recurring revenue, and it'll likely go up as they promote their community. Now, you don't have to charge, because the other thing with Skool platforms is you could create a free group, just like a Facebook group. The advantage of free is you can build a bigger community faster. Let me give you an example of somebody. Now, this lady is a bookkeeper. Hers is actually 4 bookkeepers, I believe. But look at this. She's got 47.3 thousand members in her community, which I think is an extraordinary number. Now, this is a free community, but let's not miss the point here. That doesn't mean she's not making revenue from this, and I'll talk more about this later. You have to drive people away from the Facebook group, but with a Skool community, inside that, you can create resources and you can create courses where people then inside the community can choose to buy those additional courses. And I'm guessing that the lady that's built this particular community with 47,000 members probably has some stuff people can pay for. And I would have thought out of 47,000 people, there's probably a lot of people buying her stuff. Or in your case, it might not be courses. It might be that you are inviting some of those people to have a meeting with you to just become normal, conventional clients. Okay, that's a few thoughts around bookkeeping. What about taxes? What if your expertise is taxes? Well, there's lots of people on this platform doing exactly that. So this person's got a free community helping people who are struggling with IRS debt. Join our CPA expert-led community. She has 1,000 members in the group. Yes, it's a free one, but you can almost guarantee some of those members will become clients, or there may be ways she's monetizing in a different way. What about this one? The Tax Strategy Accelerator. This has got 1,000 members. What about the American Society of Tax Problem Solvers? Just over 2,000 members of this community. Again, it's a free one, but probably monetizing in different ways. I thought this one was interesting. This one's the actual tax law community on Skool. It's a CPA called Jasmine, and she has 5,500 members in her group that she's built up. Let's look at some more. There's one called Tax Leverage. Now, I think this might be aimed more at CPAs rather than the general public. This is a paid one, $150 a month, 54 members. That's in a recurring revenue of $97,000 for teaching people some tax stuff. So if that was your expertise, why couldn't you do that? Another one is Bodner and Clark have built Tax School, and they've got 75 members. They're making almost $250,000 in recurring revenue by sharing some of their knowledge around tax. Okay, what about General Business Advisory? A supportive group of new businesses, owners to master taxes, bookkeeping and finances, led by Marianne, a CPA. It's a small group, this one. Everyone has to start somewhere. But what about this next one? This one's amazing. She's probably not a CPA, but she's clearly got a lot of expertise in a niche area of helping people raise funding, grants, and so on. Look at this, 2,400 members, nearly 2,500 members, and this isn't a free one. She's charging $37 a month, a tiny $37 in something that she's found that people need help with raising finance in business. And she's making just over $1 million a year from that community, which again is extraordinary. And then another free one, if you just want to create a free group, this is just a general business club. I've been teaching this for years in the profession. I ran my own, and they got 16,000 members in their business club. Yes, it's free, but they are probably monetizing it in some really interesting ways. The last one I'm going to share with you is the same strategy as what I'm doing on Skool, which is to have two communities. One's free and one is paid for. So you can use one as a feeder for the other. And they're making, this is a CPA. He has the Global Business Growth Club with nearly 2,000 members, and then those members can join his Growth VIP group. He has 432 members charging just short of $100 a year. He's doing just over $500,000. And if you go to his About page to see what he's doing, he's a CPA, he's in the US, and he's basically teaching business owners how they can start up a US company. He's teaching taxes, how to set things up properly, all stuff that I know you have, that expertise. You have all this knowledge up there, but you're sharing it one-to-one with clients and working crazy long hours. I bet this guy is working a few days a week, and he's probably running a CPA firm as well, and this is just some extra pocket money, $500,000. So I share these with you because I know sometimes accountants think and bookkeepers think, I'm just an accountant, I'm just a bookkeeper, I can't possibly do this sort of stuff. And yet there are peers of yours, other CPAs and bookkeepers, who have grasped this opportunity to build a community of people and have found a way to monetize it. You can do it too. So with that said, let's talk a little bit more then about how might you do this? I looked at lots of different communities. There's lots of different software platforms that you can use. There's things like Circle. I'm trying to think what the names of them all are now. I did a research of them all 6 months ago. I decided that the one that I liked most was Skool, because I was actually in a few Skool communities. I'm in some communities as a customer, as a paying customer, and I love the simplicity of, from a customer's point of view, of being able to navigate my way around. I love the fact that I'm in multiple Skool communities and I only have to have one login detail. And once I'm into Skool, I can move around across different communities. And so I chose that as the community that I would set up, and I'll show you that later. because you'll probably want to join it. I have a free community if you're not in it already, so you can explore it and see exactly from the inside out. And what I love about Skool as well is the fact that for me as a creator of a community, it's really simple to set up. It's really simple, and there's some really interesting ways that you can monetize it. So you can have a free community you can build fast. You can have a paid for community, and if you charge for that, it could be a monthly figure, it could be an annual membership, it could be a one-off if it was just a single course. I personally recommend recurring income. Even within a free community, you can add courses very easily and you can monetize them. So you can choose whether, if you put something valuable inside a community, you can choose whether the members get it as part of their community or they have to buy it extra. And of course, you might decide that you want to use that community to drive people to a meeting with you where you then turn them into conventional clients doing one-to-one work. So there are many different ways of monetizing it. It's very flexible. So let me show you now what this all looks like, and I'll show you a bit about how we set it up. I have two communities. We set it up just 2 months ago, and the first one, the one that is the paid for community, I know there's some people listening here today are in it already, is the AI Academy. And this is where I teach people how to master AI, in particular ChatGPT, how we can save hours of time with ChatGPT. We only started 2 months ago and we're already up to 82 members, and it's going up pretty much every day. We so far started off with a low initial founder member price. It's only $47 a month to be part of it. And I'm going to ask Sarah to put the link to it in the comments. It'll be underneath the video and so on if you want to join it. We will be putting the price up fairly soon in July. We will put it up. We will be putting it up quite significantly. But one of the things I like about Skool, which I've done for a year, always done in the Value Pricing Academy, and some people know this, is that although we're going to put the price up, we do it in the Academy, when a member joins the community, they lock in the price. So the best time to join certainly the AI Academy is now, because it's the founder member price. The price will be going up fairly soon for new members going forward. So that's the AI Academy that we've got, and what we have got in the AI Academy, what we've built is, firstly, you get this community. So a bit like Facebook groups, people can ask questions. You as the owner can post things. So I posted in the community just the other day a post about you getting a brand new piece of software. So a gift for members of the AI Academy coming very soon is some new software, and we can see all the comments from people. So we can have a community a little bit like Facebook, but much more powerful because you are in control. And here's one of the really interesting things as you build a big community up. When you make a brand new post, you can also choose if you want to email all of your members. And what the founders of Skool have said is that the open rates when you send out an email through Skool is average at 75%. Hopefully you're now seeing the opportunity here for you of having a Skool community, that people keep joining, and when you don't have to do much for it, they just join, because there's so much value in it. Yeah, so what they said is that 75% open rates, whereas the industry average for open rates from email campaigns is 25%. In other words, 3 times as many people open up emails sent out of Skool. Imagine if you built a free community of 16,000 people, I showed you earlier, and you then had a really interesting post to send out where you were offering something free or something, and you wanted them to book a meeting, and 75% opened the email up. That would be quite extraordinary. So you can set up a community where you just simply post some stuff, other people can ask questions, you create this sense of community where people can learn from each other. There's also a section where you can create a classroom, and you can create courses inside ChatGPT. We've done courses on prompt engineering, privacy and security, which is critically important for our profession, AI image generation, and if we dive into a course, people can work through the videos step by step. Sometimes I put resources below there. It's really easy if you want to create a course for your clients, for your customers, your members, to build it inside Skool. You just simply open up a post, you add a video, you don't have to. Your posts, your chapters, if you like, could just be you upload a workbook or you upload a checklist. It could be as simple as you want. It's really easy to create a classroom. Thank you, Neil. Very easy to create a classroom, and what I'm committed to doing is, in the AI Academy, is I love doing training courses. And so I'm going to keep building these courses out for people because I want to help the accounting profession master AI and ChatGPT. Now, you can also have a calendar. This is if you decide to do live streams like this, if you decide to do webinars for your community, then you can have a calendar in the top so that people in the community know about all the live sessions. People in the community will see if you are running a live session at the time. You can also drill in, anyone can go and see all the other members in the community, and they have some gamification built in. They have leaderboards, and I think I'm right in saying that this week Randall is the most engaged member of the community. So I love the really engaged people. What happens is engaging, it's got gamification built in. In other words, when people post stuff, great comments or great posts and other people like them, you get points. And what do points mean? Well, whatever you want it to be. So one of the things that you can do is, as people go up the levels, you can create certain courses which are still free, but they have to achieve certain levels. I think I've done that with one of my courses. I think AI image generation, you have to be level 2 or level 3. So you can encourage people to be more engaged in your community, and then you can reward them by giving them access to more stuff. So that's the AI Academy. I also created at the same time in March of 2025, at the end of March, we created ChatGPT for accountants, and this one is completely free. This is our free version. We're up to 711 members. I actually have 2 more people to let in. So what's in the free community? Well, essentially it's the same platform. You've got a community, people can engage in that. So it's very easy if you have the 2 communities to use one as a funnel. Give loads of value to your customers, to your clients, and then encourage them. If they want more stuff, they can do exactly that. That's what people see in Skool. It's very simple for people to navigate, to get access to the community, comments, the classroom. The other thing that I love about Skool is that I said to you that when you are on Skool, you can be in multiple communities and you don't have to keep logging into other people's sites. Once you're in with one set of login details, you can jump about to different communities that you are in really quickly and really easily. Also in the top right, you can set up things like, I know some people just get inundated with email and they don't want too many emails. So what Skool does, it has, you are in control for each of your communities that you are in. So those of you that have just joined the AI Academy or ChatGPT for Accountants, you're in control to choose whether you get emails on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis. I certainly would not recommend turning them off completely, at least get a monthly email. But what I do, when I join other people's communities, I just set it for the default daily email, just so I can see what's going on within the community. And then when I feel like I've kind of got a handle of it, I will switch it to weekly. So I just get once a week a update on the latest announcements, the posts, and so on. I love the fact that you are in control of, as a customer, you're in control of how many emails you receive. But assuming that if the announcements and things are valuable, as I said earlier, the great thing is you put a post in there and people get an email. If you put a post in your Facebook group, they don't get an email to that effect, or they're not necessarily going to see it. And so a lot of stuff in Facebook groups just disappears. Okay, let's go behind the scenes in terms of setting it up. And I've looked at lots of platforms. You do not have to use Skool. There are others like Circle. There are some that are cheaper. In fact, my good friend John Johnson recommended one just earlier today that he came across that was on AppSumo that you could get on a special deal. The reason I like Skool, though, is because it's still inexpensive when you compare it to the potential upside. Also, the great thing about Skool is I know of the people behind it. The founder is Sam Ovens, and he's continually building great features into it. Skool's been around for a while now. And here's the other really interesting thing about Skool is that they have thousands or perhaps millions of people on the platform. There are thousands of communities out there. And what happens is when you go into Skool, you can discover new communities. So you could look for communities that you might want to join. If you're interested in, I don't know, the calligraphy school, for example, there's a community for that. But what it means is that as you build your own community, people might find it. So rather than you having to drive traffic to your community and growing it, it can grow organically because of people who are in the community, people who just love Skool can find your course. If someone's looking for bookkeeping or taxes or finance, they can search and your community will come up. I think I typed in ChatGPT the other day and my community was on the first page, which is awesome because of the Skool platform. Okay, so how do you set one up? It's really easy, and you can join Skool very easily. You can create a community very easily. It takes seconds. When you are in Skool, then if you use my affiliate link, I will send you all my videos and resources I've created showing you step by step exactly how to set up your community. I did it through a series of prompts on ChatGPT. It created all the words for me. It set up my community through ChatGPT. It was really easy. But let me take you on a behind the scenes. Let me show you some of the things that you would do. Essentially, you would work through the left-hand side and just fill in the boxes, okay? You set up a community, and the first thing you might do under general is choose a name. You can upload an icon, a cover image. That's kind of the basics of it. And then you can choose whether it's a public group or a private group. That's entirely up to you. So it's that easy to set it up. And then some other things that you might want to set up is the pricing. And again, they make it really easy. This one, ChatGPT for Accountants, is free, but if I wanted to, I could change the price. I could give people a 7-day free trial and so much more. So many options around the pricing. There are a section of plugins where you can do things like, if you want, you can integrate with tools like Zapier. You can also get it so that if people want to join, they have to ask some questions. So if you want to make sure you're only getting the right people in your group, you can set it so that they have to answer some questions first before you let them in. Or if you want, you can not have that and just let anybody in. They can just click and get straight in. You're in control. It's your group. If we go to the tabs at the top, you can choose whether you have a classroom or not. I think the classroom tab is valuable. It's where you give value to your members. We talked about the calendar. The other thing you might want to do is you can turn on a map. The map feature means that anybody in the community can see where all the other members are in the world. And you might want to do that if you want to turn into more of a networking group, particularly if you want to build a community just for your town, of business owners in your town, your city, then you might want to turn on the map so that you allow people to network not just through the community, but they can hook up with each other, connect, meet up. That can be very valuable to people. And anything else I want to show you? Oh yes, and then you also can see where you rank in terms of discovery. In other words, the more you build your community, it'll go up the ranks. What that means is that when people are looking for some help with taxes, with finance, with finding funding, and they go to Skool and they type it into the search, it's more likely that your community will appear higher up the ranking. So they show you where you appear on the list, and then they give you guidance on what you can do to get seen by more people. Setting it up is quite straightforward. You'll create an about page, for example. What I did was I just created a whole series of ChatGPT prompts, which wrote all the wording for me. And that made life really easy to set the whole thing up. It was very quick. It took me about half a day to set it up. I did watch a few videos because I had to work out where I can put links and things. You can do some cool things like on the right-hand side of every page, you can have a link to somewhere. I choose to have mine as a link through to the AI Academy, but you might want to have a link to your calendar, for example. If you wanted people in the community to book a meeting with you, then you could put the link on the right-hand side and that would appear on every single page. So all sorts of functionality that we can do that you can play around with. But the basics of setting it up is really easy. Now, once you've set up a community, this is whether it's Skool or any other community, a Facebook group, one of the things you do have to do, though, is, yes, it's easy to set up. Half a day, you're set up. But you do have to add value. We talked about that at the outset. You need to add value, and you need to keep people engaged. So that's why I strongly recommend that you do have the classroom tab in your community and you create some courses. That doesn't mean, please don't be scared and think, oh, you've got to do video courses. No, a course could be something as simple as 3 or 4 posts where each one is a chapter, each one is basically some guidance with a link to a checklist, a resource. It doesn't have to be video if you don't want to. Do you have some classes in there? So if you were creating a community of taxes, for example, then you might have a course on how to set up your S Corp or whatever, and they go into there's a series of posts, and each one has a few guidance with a little checklist if they want to do it themselves. So creating courses could be simple. It doesn't have to be a big job, but you want to create some value. And the other way to create value for members is you do want to create value through the engagement. One of the things that I do is I spend a bit of time every morning. It's probably only 15 minutes, but you can see at the top right on my screen, there's a notification. You get a notification when people comment or post something. And so what I would do is I would go through and make sure I just answer and acknowledge everybody's comment. And wherever possible, if it's a question for me, I will do my best to give as good an answer as I possibly can, because that's a great way of adding value to people and keeping people engaged. And for those of you that have joined my communities already, the ChatGPT for Accountants or the AI Academy, if you ever have a question, just ask in the community. I am reviewing it every day and answering questions as best as I possibly can. And if I don't know the answer, I'll go away and find the answer. Next thing to think about is setting up the community is easy. Yes, you need to do a bit of work ongoing by adding value, either by creating some courses and or engaging with members, answering their questions and so on. But you also have to grow your community. How are you going to grow it? How are you going to get people into your community? And what you want to do is have a number of different strategies. So yes, you can get organic growth because eventually over time people might find it from Skool itself, but don't rely on that. You want to have a campaign for driving traffic there. So I would certainly consider inviting all your existing clients first, because they know, like, and trust you. Get your clients in the community. They are the best people to have in the community because they love you already. The new software coming soon is really powerful. Get them in there first. And then what you want to do is make sure that you perhaps put a link to it in your email footer. Every time you send an email out, perhaps every time as part of your system, whenever you meet brand new potential clients, your sales meeting, have on the agenda to tell them about your community. And so whether they sign up as a client or not, at least you can get them in the community and give them more value, because they're more likely at some point, if they don't sign up today, they might still in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, when you meet clients. Make sure that through all of your social media channels, you are continually promoting your community. It may be that, like me, you decide to have a go at doing some live streams or some webinars, in which case, whenever you do a live stream or webinar, tell people about the benefits of being in your community. There are so many ways of driving traffic to your community. You just have to make sure you do it systematically. Just create a plan and put it in place. We have, for example, set up a whole series of social media posts that my daughter is posting out, regularly telling people about all the benefits of our free community for firms that want to master ChatGPT. And we're only 2 months in, 8 weeks in, and we have 713 members in the free community. And that's growing daily. There's 4 more members just wanting to join right now. I'll let them in a short while. So that's how you grow your community. And then the last thing I'll say is, linked to that, they have a really cool affiliate process built into it. One of the things you can do, if you have a paid community, you can tell your existing members that if they recommend somebody else, they earn affiliate commission. And it's really simple to set up. You just go into your settings behind the scenes, and one of the items on the left-hand side is affiliates. You choose how much you want to pay people who introduce people to your paid community. Now, it's off in ChatGPT for Accountants because it's a free community anyway, but I have turned it on with the AI Academy. And if you join the AI Academy, then if you know of other people, perhaps through Facebook groups, social medias, perhaps you're in a group of other accountants, bookkeepers, people interested in AI, if you recommend the AI Academy with your link, then you will receive 30% of what they pay for as long as they're a member. You refer 3 people and you've effectively got free access. It's covering your membership. So how do you do that? It's really simple. They make it so simple. You can either go to the members tab and there's a big invite tab, or if you go into the top right, you can see it's affiliates. You go into the top right once you're in Skool, and what happens there is you will see there all the different communities that you are in that have an affiliate process. So for example, the Skool platform if you were to use my link, which we're going to share with you, then I earn 40% commission from Skool for doing that. And what I'll do in return if you use that is I will give you all my resources and step-by-step training on how to set up your community. But if you go to the AI Academy tab, you will see there, it confirms that you will earn 30% commission. All you have to do is grab that link, share it, and it'll all be automated that you will get affiliate commission. So that's a really powerful way, another way for you to grow your community. If you have a paid for one where people pay, you can then tell them that if they recommend other people, they will earn an affiliate commission. And that's a powerful way to grow your community, to grow your revenue without really doing anything. Because other people, your advocates, your best members are telling other people. Okay, so if you want to join, let me just finally wrap up. If you want to join my free community, I certainly recommend you join at least the free community, because then you can have a play around with, have a look at how I've done it. You can see it from the customer side of things. You can see how easy it is to get value from the community and steal some of the things that I've set up, some of the ideas. If you decide that you want to set up your own community and you see things about mine that you like, then please do exactly that. Copy what I'm doing. You might decide, yes, you want a free community and you might want to have a paid for one. You might like the idea that when people join my community, the first thing they are told is why not go and do the Start Here course, and the Start Here course tells people how to get around and get the best out of the community. So if you like that idea, you could copy it and build it into yours. Okay, so quick recap. The world's changing fast. AI is coming fast. We're going to find that we are under increasing pressure with traditional compliance work. The AI will replace that. We have to add more value, and we can add more value by either going up the value curve and delivering more value on our old one-to-one model by doing a business advisory tax, or we can create value by scaling our firms by building a business club and building a sense of community. It doesn't have to be a platform like Skool, but what I'm finding is that it just makes it so easy. It's so easy to build up a community. And as we showed you earlier, there are some accounting firms now doing sizable recurring revenue. One of them, one lady, if you remember, was just over $1 million with her course, her community, helping people with funding, finding grants, and so on. So you can do, the opportunities there. You have all this knowledge. This is all about you scaling that knowledge that's in your head, whether that's tax knowledge, whether it's bookkeeping knowledge, about tech stacks, finance tech stacks, whatever it might well be, you have knowledge. This is a great way for you to scale it and monetize it. Please tell me in the chat what's the best thing that you've learned today. If you have learned something valuable, please give it the thumbs up as well. And those of you that have joined one or both of my communities, please, if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm here to help you. Please just ask. Thank you so much for coming. I will see you soon. Bye for now.